You are listening to DC On Screen.
I messaged Christian. He's like, oh, yeah, that was going to happen. I mean, yeah, but like, we all knew it was possible.
Yeah.
And it was actually going to happen.
Whew. Wow. All right.
All George Clooney's fault.
All right. Getting into DC On Screen.
Getting out of DC and into DC On Screen.
Yeah, if you didn't get to listen to our Patreon episode, what we're talking about is, as we were recording our Patreon episode, our warm-up for this week, Biden stepped down from running in the 2024 election. So we were talking a little bit about that. Like that's all real time there we were talking about. So, yeah, wow. So from Washington, D.C. to D.C. Comics on screen.
A sometimes much more fun and interesting place.
Yeah, sometimes. But no less divisive, I dare say. I'm David C. Robertson.
Probably not more interesting than this day, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm David C. Robertson. This is Jason Goss.
Hi. I have also always been cursed by the cursedness of being interesting.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, not in the modern sense of actually being interesting. No, more the cursed sense of being cursed. Yeah, back when people lived in interesting times, that was a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, I live in interesting times.
Old Chinese curse.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got us a warm-up. We talked a little bit about the Deadpool Wolverine trailer, the final trailer that they put out a couple days ago. Talked a little bit about various things. I don't even know, including Biden stepping down. We didn't get too deep into it, but anyway, that's over there on Patreon right now. By the way, Lorenzo Valdez joined us on Patreon about 3 weeks ago. Thank you, Lorenzo. We surely appreciate your patronage.
Hello, Lorenzo.
Yeah. If I believe the picture, I believe it's our old friend Jordan Valdez.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
So-
long time to see that.
Once known as. So, welcome, young Valdez. Crisis on Infinite Earths. They dropped that part 3 a couple days ago,
Yeah.
16th.
Yeah. Saw a lot of very enticing advertisements about it.
They put out the Kevin Conroy final Batman scene.
You showed me.
I got a little teary.
I didn't get teary, but I got about everything else. I was just so full in every sense of the word of joy, sadness. Didn't have time for tears.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty close to our recording time, so no time for tears.
It was.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
I was folding the lost of my laundry as we did it too, so
Yeah.
probably just accidentally brushed them away with a fitted sheet that I couldn't master.
Yeah. Over on Patreon, we were discussing how I've been largely staying away from the internet. And look, man, I saw I saw this Kevin Conroy's final Batman scene, and there are just so many people going like, this is Mark Hamill AI voice. Like they're using an AI voice to pretend it's Mark Hamill. They say it's Mark Hamill in the credits, but it's not really him. That doesn't sound like Mark Hamill. Motherfucker, he's 72. He don't sound the same.
No.
His voice has been different for years.
It would be AI if he sounded the same.
He confirmed that he came in and did it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a deep fake, Dave. His confirmation.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a tweet. That was GPT.
Like all these people are like, as someone who's been watching Batman the animated series in his original run, I can sadly say this is not Mark. You're an idiot. Sorry. I'm not actually sorry. You're an idiot. Stop spreading bullshit conspiracy theories. It's not an AI that they trained to sound like Mark Hamill. He's just old.
Yeah. I do hate how it makes it sound like such a human thing that we're very good at. Now sounds like me being a lunatic. If I'm telling you what I do know is when I heard that voice, when I knew it in my heart and my soul, that was Mark Hamill. I knew it. You can't take that from me. Like, just reciting something I've probably heard in the last week. But yeah, like that makes me sound like a fucking anecdotal idiot. But no, it's fun. It sounds like Mark Hamill.
It does sound like
It sounds
Mark
like his
Hamill.
voice. Because we're humans and we recognize voices.
Especially if you like listen.
That dude needs to get better speakers.
If you have listened to Mark Hamill, and it's not just some dude, it's a whole bunch of people who are saying this that doesn't sound like him. But
I'm imagining them with little like lab tech speakers on the side of their monitors.
it's just, I don't know. It's these people are just, everyone starts, the usual suspects are paranoid about everything being AI. So if they're listening to somebody who's 72 years old and maybe sounds a little different than they did when they were 30, that ain't them, that's AI. No, you're dumb.
It just changes. I mean, hell, even Casey Kasem changed after a while.
Yeah, well, slightly.
That's the only thing that did.
Slightly. But I don't know. I know you're not supposed to name call.
I think I haven't, heard all the versions of Paul McCartney over the years. Of course, we know they changed.
Well, he actually is Billy Shears.
Yeah. It was William Campbell, if fuck.
I don't know.
I believe was the supposed doppelganger.
It depends on which conspiracy
I'm down to look that one up.
thing you watch or read up. Like some people are saying, the guy's name was literally Billy Shears.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't keep up with the Beatles enough to know all the iterations of the conspiracy theory.
Oh, there were fun bits. I mean, the Abbey Road cover. There was the I buried pole instead of cranberry sauce.
Oh yeah.
The
Turn Me On Dead Man. Yeah.
Instead of number 9.
Uh-huh.
And then number 9 apparently also referred to Revolution number 9, where at the end there's the car crash and flames. Not at the end. There's somewhere in the 3 minutes. Yeah, car crash, flames. I don't know, which could have just been Yoko yawning for all we know. I don't know what that sound was. No one really does. He pulled a bunch of clips out of the library and threw them together because he was fucking tripping and thought it was fun. There was no meaning. That was the point of that one.
All the palms over Paul's head, all of that.
Yeah. But yeah, the entirety of Abbey Road, the bare feet. I think there was some car tag in the background that was supposedly meaningful. Now, my favorite was there was apparently a bit there in the around that time where there was a phone number if you found it you could call, and it did have some creepy message on it that's long since defunct. Yeah.
That was a thing. It was in the flowers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was a fun little ride. The Paul is dead there. I think part of it. One of my favorites is he apparently had some journalists show up at his door and asked him, "Are you the real Paul McCartney or whatever?" I think, or it was like, "Are you dead?" or something. He said something stupid and blunt. Apparently, McCartney just grabbed a pail, like imagine like a Snow White level, wooden pail of water, and just doused the guy with it. Told him to get the fuck off his porch.
That's funny.
But the guy got an interview out of it because apparently Paul A felt bad, B knew that was terrible press, and probably in the reverse order, frankly, and went and got him. So, all right, come here, I'll give you an interview. Sorry.
That's so weird and funny.
Yeah.
All right, so KITE MAN, hell yeah.
Beatles history. KITE MAN, yes, absolutely.
It came out
finished
July.
episode 1 a couple hours ago.
18th, yeah. That's what I was about to say. It came out a couple of days ago.
And guess what's queued up right now upstairs, baby? Episode 2.
Nice. Yeah. We have yet to get to that in our house. We've been a little busy, but
it's the obvious review is hell yeah, and of course it's 4 out of 4 hell yes.
Mm-hmm. And so Lance Reddick, who has now passed away,
sadly,
picked up the Lex Luthor role from Giancarlo Esposito, who played him in Harley Quinn. And Dean Lorey, one of the executive producers, said of Lance Reddick, "He was wonderful. We all loved him. We loved working with him, and we loved his take on Lex. Giancarlo was terrific, and he played Lex a little more as a businessman and all of that, which we thought was great. But what Lance brought in was more gravity to him, maybe a little bit more depth. We just so warmed to his take. Obviously, it was a giant shock to us, as it was to everybody when he passed, but he had luckily completed recording most of his episodes, so we were glad that we at least had that we could give people. But we really loved him. I had forgotten that he had passed away until I saw this news article. I was like, oh, that's sad."
Yeah. He wasn't like a daily thought of mine, and he's not in any shows that I watch that often.
Mm-hmm.
He just he still just shows up enough that every time I see him, I go, man, what a talent. Damn it.
Yeah.
I did wonder, though, because I was watching that earlier today, and I knew it wasn't Giancarlo, but I could not put my finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
And, that makes more sense.
Now, while talking to comicbook.com about the first season of KITE MAN, hell yeah, Matt Oberg, who plays KITE MAN, and executive producer Dean Lorey, were talking about the possibility of KITE MAN carrying over into the DCU and Matt playing him. And he said, How much? Make me an offer, is what I would say. Of course I will be there. I'll be a local hire. I'll bring my own kite. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, I will be there. And then Dean Lorey said, I'll be there.
Isn't local hire particularly pimping yourself out in the SAG world?
Yeah.
That's basically saying, I'll do this for $60, whatever you're offering the rest of the people standing around.
And Lorey said, I'll be there to get him water. Get him sunscreen if he needs it. Whatever he needs. And Oberg says, I don't need it. I'm fine. I'll be sunburned. There's lots of coverage with that suit.
True. Like, I'll bring my own kite.
That was fun.
I enjoy that.
All right, this Batman Caped Crusader, I sent you a clip last week.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just it's a high-octane Batmobile action sequence. It's like Batman running over gangsters.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the action is cut with these big black panels. It screams like noir comic book. Mm-hmm. I dig it. It reminds me of the action in Ang Lee's Hulk, or 24, like where they're like cutting up the frames, or they're like cutting, they're basically dividing up the screen into like different comic book panels. I really like it. But it does. True. By the way, it actually does just look like Batman's killing people.
It is. I pulled it up again to remind myself a little bit. But yeah, it does. I dug that thing though when you sent it last week.
I'm really looking forward to Caped Crusader. It looks fun. Hopefully, I'll be alive. That
is true. We're at a nice period where finally things are starting to the new stuff is trickling back into our lives.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like over the next year, we actually have some stuff coming up that's fine. Like it has. It's been a year of drought, year and a half, 2 almost.
Dude, like I'm just barely dipping my toe into My Adventures with Superman. And they just finished their 2nd season. Like, there's been stuff. There's plenty.
But I just like, we were so used to being, inundated for years. And then...
we got a little burnt out.
Yeah. It was years and years of just every week there was, not just another show. It was a show. It was like another network of shows popping up every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then at the end of this, so much controversy to look at every time you talked. And then just nothing. And radio silence and an actual plan being built for a minute. Yeah, we're finally starting to see something new and isn't just old news that's being rehashed. I like it, though.
Mm-hmm. Did you see that they, you remember that Radalata website that they put up for the Batman that was like a puzzle that you had to like crack?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They brought it back for the Penguin.
Oh, cool.
And it's a new puzzle. It shows a string of instant messages between anonymous criminals hoping to link up at the Iceberg Lounge. And then if you complete the puzzle, you might get access to reserve passes for the pop-up activation event at the San Diego Comic-Con.
That's tempting.
Yeah. And by the way, Penguin does come out on September 19th. They've changed it, though. They have... Casey Bloys looked at it and was like, you know what, this looks better, as good, if not better, than anything that's on HBO. This should be an HBO original. So it's also going to air on HBO. It was just going to be a Max original, and now it'll air on HBO and then come out on Max the next day.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's a big show of faith.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for them, it's basically just double dipping because they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there's some money being thrown around somewhere, but it's still nice to just be like, that's so good, I want to air it too.
Yeah. Superman and Lois.
Mm-hmm.
They released a final season teaser trailer. The full Superman and Lois trailer will drop at SDCC, which happens at San Diego Comic-Con. July 25th through 28th is when that's going to be happening. I sent you this teaser trailer. What did you think of it? Did you watch it? Because you haven't caught up on Superman and Lois.
No, not caught up, but I still watched. I think for like season 2, I didn't watch the trailer, and then after that I've kind of given up and been like, I've got a lot catching up to do, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a ton to watch there. It just looks like they're going to play with Death of Superman and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks as good as the rest of the show has looked.
Yeah, it's Superman and Lois, so I expect it to be one of the best versions of the Death of Superman.
Yeah. My only foil was I watched it on the phone, and I thought the red cape when it was in the distance was like a giant red meteor or something. When it zoomed in a little bit, oh, tattered cape, got you.
Oh, yes. I know you.
Yeah. For a moment in that trailer, I thought he was about to fight something involving a giant red kryptonite meteor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which could happen any day.
Probably. Did you, moving over to Superman proper, like the James Gunn movie, did you see the Superman symbol that he put out a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I don't understand the hatred towards it. I think
it's got that kind of flat blue and red. I want to call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you describe this? It's got a real late 60s feel to it to me, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's Kingdom Come, but it's got like a Donner feel to it as well. It's very bright.
It is very bright.
It's not much different than what we've seen before already on his outfit.
I mean, it's not, and Especially it reeks of All-Star Superman's cover.
Reeks is a specifically weighted word that I don't care for.
Yeah.
But
it does have negative connotations that I don't mean there. But
yeah.
It drips with it. Is that better? You like that?
Not really, but it's fine. I understand what you mean.
I didn't think you'd like that much more.
It's fine.
It's moist with the...
All right, let's move on.
Anyway, point is I dig it. But I dig most that he's decided not to do some flat, super dark sapphire kind of blue. And just... You got to do something entirely different than...
Man of Steel? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anything that looks like the dark take version of these logos right now is just not going to be the way to go. This looks like a very good way.
And you know what? You can bitch about it, but I even saw someone being like, James Gunn should have created his own character. Because Gunn came out and said something about how he thinks of Superman as someone who you want to give a hug to. He's gentle and he's kind and all sorts of shit. I didn't put it down. But then someone said you should have just created a new character and stopped ruining, strong characters. Like, what do have you only watched Snyder's Superman?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Also, that was one of the people, and still am one of the people who think that Cavill and Snyder's version of Superman was that character.
I mean, for me, an entirely hopeful and joyous character. If you actually watched, it's not. I don't mean to demean and be like, oh, if you actually watched the movie. I mean, if you sat and watched it with me, I would be able to sit down and point out, like, wait, here's. We're going to go through the 20 minutes of this movie that I think are very hopeful and joyous. I'll break it down for you if you're not seeing it the way I'm seeing it.
I'm all right with demeaning. I'm tired of this.
I mean, it's not like some parts aren't obvious. It's just that some parts are super, just goddamn dumb. Like, oh, he never smiles. Oh, here's 4 frames where he's smiling. Mm-hmm. Or scenes, really, not frames.
Yeah, but
that would be hilarious.
This is more about tone than it is about actually what's on the screen. So
I know, but that's the part where I mean to me not demeaning is the tone for me is not as dark as some people think it is.
It's not.
Like that whole scene about, well, should I just let him die? Maybe. I mean, some people saw that and it just colors the entire 10 minutes of that screen time as just this dark space now, and it just isn't that way for me.
Yeah.
Nor the tornado or interpretations of this that are much less somber than some people want to say.
Yeah, I mean, you have a third act where Superman's upset, and suddenly it's like, oh my God, he's such a dark and brooding character.
Well, he got mad.
All right, so Superman is wrapped filming in Cleveland, and hopefully that means less leaks.
True.
But Gunn said Superman, the popular comic book superhero, was created by writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster in 1933 while both attended Glenville High School. That's in Cleveland, by the way. Mm-hmm. He says, Cleveland, today we are leaving you after 6 amazing weeks of shooting from the moment we first came here on a scout a tad less than a year ago, and Terminal Tower was lit up with the colors of Superman. I knew you were a special place. I would walk down your streets and someone would stop me and tell me how grateful we were shooting in their city. Not once, not twice, but dozens of times. The wonderful background actors on the film were always so fun and funny, and they clapped after takes, something that reminded us Hollywood cynics why we make movies in the first place. The pride you feel in being where Jerry and Joe first created Superman was invigorating. You exemplify his spirit. But just as much is the pride you have in your community, your hometown, your radio stations and restaurants and gathering places that touched me. Every city would be so lucky to have people that love their city as much as you. You simply couldn't have been more wonderful, kind, or accommodating to me and our performers and crew. Thank you 1,000 times over for being our friends and partners on this film. Much love to you all. I thought that was thoughtful.
That is.
I liked it.
Yeah. And very cool if, all that's not just some bluster. I assume it's not.
Yeah. And he did, point out we are not done shooting. We still have a couple of weeks left.
Yeah, for a second I thought you meant wrapped, and then I heard the...
Yeah, but they still have a couple of weeks left. That's not very long.
No, it's not at all. But about time. I mean,
yeah. He says,
give yourself a year to get this thing ready to...
Yeah. But they're editing all along.
Yeah.
He says so.
Of course.
Someone asked if he knew what he was doing next. He said, "Uh-huh." But it's just a distant corner of my brain as I'm focused on what we're shooting.
Yeah.
He did say that they have a quote a handful of animated projects already greenlit.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what that is, but they haven't officially announced it. And he did once again say, yes, the Creature Commandos will take place before the events of Superman. Peacemaker Season 2 will occur after the events of Superman. Just pointing that out there again for all the people who keep asking him, like, every day.
I mean, those are also the order in which he's been making them, are they not?
Yes.
So
it is.
Straightforward narrative to follow there, really, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Jack Quaid, who voices Superman on My Adventures with Superman, also on The Boys and Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah, just watched him kill some people.
Yeah. Said he auditioned for James Gunn's Superman. He says, I didn't get very far. I put myself on tape and it went nowhere. And that's fine. I'm totally cool with it. Poor guy.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for trying.
Yeah,
if he'd given me a shot, I would have made a tape. Just to see. Just be like, yep, I sent in a tape. There was a gas leak that day, and they hired me accidentally.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know. They signed the contract, though, and I'm not giving it up.
Over to Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, J. Michael Straczynski wrote the script for this animated adaptation that's coming. This is the guy that wrote Babylon 5. He wrote Amazing Spider-Man forever. Like he was writing Spider-Man for a really long time. And yes, he was responsible for the Goblin Twins. It's not something that any of us liked.
Everybody has a swing and a miss here and there, you know.
I mean, it was a pretty big swing and a big ass miss. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar, but this is the idea that
I'm not at all. I was kind of wondering if it was if there was a brief way to describe how fucked up that was, or if it was going to be if it was going to be like a hold on, let me pause and get to Wikipedia's thing.
So the basic idea is that a couple of Goblin twins show up who are the children of Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy in a shocking and terrible reveal that Gwen Stacy cheated on Peter, or at the very least had some sort of affair with Norman Osborn while they were on a break or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was a tryst.
And it was not received well.
A tryst twist.
Because Norman Osborn was, twice her age and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To think like, oh, you're going to turn around and make this dead woman who's been dead for fucking 40 years in the comics suddenly have cheated on Peter with his greatest enemy and have his children in secret, and then gone back to him because she would have. This was while she was in London, so she would have had to have gone back to him, Peter, afterward. It didn't. Nope. No.
Yeah. What's the phrase about throwing him in the fridge?
Oh, that's from. I think that came from a Green Lantern book.
Well, I just mean there's a phrase about mishandling female characters where you like throw them in the fridge.
Yeah, you fridge them.
Fridge them. So what is the opposite when you uncoffin them?
Well, she wasn't uncoffined. She was just.
No, I just mean like you pull a character out of nowhere just to do something stupid with her.
I mean,
the opposite is one.
Yeah, you just like. I think it's just a retcon that was not favorable.
Received very poorly.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, J. Michael Straczynski, mostly a very good writer. Mm-hmm. He's doing this. He did this Watchmen animated movie or movies. Sure. He actually insisted on an adapted credit for the movie rather than written by, because there's so much Alan Moore there. Yeah,
I mean the trailer I saw is. I wouldn't know if it was going to be verbatim from the book, but sounds pretty close.
He says, I can now talk about it as the news is breaking. I adapted Watchmen for Warner Brothers Animation. By adapted, I mean strictly configuring the structure to work in a movie. I saw no need to write more material or change what works in the book. It is pure more.
I rearranged and deleted some pages and sent it back.
All right. And that'll
That's
come
a skill,
out.
though. Thank you, sir.
That'll come out August 13th.
Yeah. Again, exciting times.
It is. My Adventures with the Superman. Mm-hmm. Season 3 has begun production.
Good.
Officially. I don't know if you saw, there was a, last week, some site, Nexus Point News, never heard of it before. It came out with this exclusive that Kumail Nanjiani was officially Booster Gold. And almost as if to answer this outrageous claim, Gunn pointed out that nothing is in production unless it's been greenlit.
Yeah.
Right now, that is Superman, Supergirl, Penguin, Peacemaker, Lanterns, and a handful of animated projects. Now, he was actually answering a question about Paradise Lost and how that fits into what they're currently producing. And he says, Paradise Lost, like many other titles, known and unknown, is still in very active development. It will be in production once we have a script or scripts we think are great and ready to shoot. Never before. As an aside, we aren't officially cast on anything that isn't greenlit. So, yeah, y'all can put away your Kumail Booster Gold news.
Yeah. He's built for it these days, but he's just so damn humble. I don't know if I've ever seen him do such an egocentric role even. Much less himself. Like,
I mean, I think he could do it.
I'm sure he's a good actor. I just don't know if he'd really care to be that damn narcissistic on screen.
I don't know.
I mean, he's like the interviews I've seen of the guy. It just seems like he might just be like, no, I don't even want to like portray that energy. Get this out of my fucking way.
I don't know. I think he'd do it.
Maybe.
I think he would.
It is a funny role. He would enjoy himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with what I've seen him do with Kingo in Marvel.
True.
So that's all my news. That's all I have. I will say, as I do apparently every time we do an episode, the Batman 2 is not canceled.
I don't know why this has to be covered every time.
It does. Because every week somebody comes out and officially announces that it's canceled, and a bunch of idiots believe whoever these scoopers are. The Batman Part 2 is not canceled.
No, it's not.
The Penguin just got shifted from Max to HBO. They went through a bunch of tumult to
in that
change
sense, it was definitely not like the whole platform got an upgrade. Like we officially got the word on other stuff. It's not going out. That's not going to go any further. But this one is going great.
Like
they would a trade.
They wouldn't be going out of their way to change all of the advertising they've already got locked for Penguin that says a Max original to change it to HBO original. They're spending extra money to change the advertising. They wouldn't be going through all that if they were just canceling the Batman.
No, God, no.
The Batman made so much money.
No, they would let it be a Max original, hope it made enough noise to justify itself, and let it die, I would think.
Yeah.
Atrophy.
And Gunn has said over and over,
if you will. Loaded term in our communities.
Yeah. But Gunn says over and over again, the Batman Part 2 is not canceled. It's not canceled. It's not canceled. It's not. Stop believing. I don't know why certain people in the Snyder fandom, because that's who it is, part of the cult, not even like the proper, like normal, well-balanced fans, just like the cult specifically, who cannot like enjoy any damn thing. And have
that
to
is
make
not
sure
a result of that direct universe.
And have to make sure that everyone feels like their thing is getting canceled.
Yeah.
It's not getting canceled, y'all. Not unless Matt Reeves just says, nope, I can't do this.
Did you hear any brief rumblings of the little joke in The Boys in the last episode?
I know, I'm not even caught up on The Boys.
There was a very, very close to the topic we're on. I'm just going to go ahead and call it a jab at
Batgirl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
Okay, good. I wasn't going to take specifically the movie, I guess, but it was a jab at what we cover.
Yeah. I did see something about that.
There's basically just to mention that we just realized it would save more money to cancel the movie.
Yeah, that's funny.
Or it would make us more money as a tax write-off or something like that.
Yeah. I wish that, like, we should just do an episode. I wish there was a way to pin an episode to the top of the feed where it's just like DC on screen, facts or something, like mostly, frequently asked questions or whatever. And the first thing is like, no, the Batman Part 2 is not canceled.
Right. Yeah.
No, Robert Pattinson is not the DCU Batman.
Right. Yes, he did go to the gym more often than you were told.
Creature Commandos takes place before Superman. Peacemaker season 2 happens after Superman.
Yes, Peacemaker will be here. No, it is not canceled.
Only elements of Peacemaker season 1 are canon.
It would have to be a currently fact.
I mean, that's what it's been for 6 months.
It has, though.
We've been saying the same thing for 6 months.
What if we just had a newsletter that released every week or two that was just currently state of the fact. Current state of fact. This is still happening. This is still not happening. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, whatever. I'm done. You done?
Yeah, let's call it.
Cool.
I guess this actually is how they do this, though, because you have infographics, right, that do the, like, this is happening thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then that's how we get clicks, a month later when we come up with another infographic that has what's basically the opposite news about it.
Yeah?
There's enough of those websites. They don't need us.
Probably not.
We'll do what we do and quit. And stop recording.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep some DC on your screen.
Bye.